How do you make decision when you're feeling uncertain? When you're feeling like you're sitting in this place of uncertainty? You know you want to move forward, you know you want to elevate, but in this moment you're feeling like, "Hey, I don't have enough information to move and I don't want to make the wrong decision." Plenty of times when I'm talking to high level women, one of the things why they're stuck in their space is they're saying to themselves, I am afraid of making the next move and the next move be wrong. Hey, it's your girl Sherry Summerbell. We're going to unpack that today. And this has been an ongoing issue that I have seen in my space. Matter of fact, I have a whole mentor that is covering this exact subject in the spirit of uncertainty. How do you elevate? How do you elevate when you're feeling like, I don't know, I don't want to mess up? You know, let's think about it when you said, "Hey, I want to run ads to my offer, but I don't want to run out of money for running those ads." Or, "Hey, I want to create this digital product, but I don't know if anyone's going to buy it, so I don't do it." And let's talk about what the don't do it look like. When you don't do it, what happens is that means you don't get to put your greatness out there in the world. You don't get to see the results of that. You don't get to create transformation in other people's life. And more importantly, you don't get to elevate and excel. And of course, there's no profit or revenue coming in your business. So therefore, your business collapse, right? So it's just as important to understand what happened when you don't do it versus when you do it. So knowing this, I have been working on that in my own space. I've been working on what does it look like to trust yourself even when you're not sure about the unknown. That's what all of this video is all about today. I am excited for you to be here because we're in a space where we look around us and there's so much things that are going on beyond our control. And you may be thinking, man, is this a time to throw in a towel? Is it a time to shift, pivot, do something else? Is it that time? And even though you're thinking those things, one of the biggest thing that you're really thinking about is, what if I do pivot? How do I know the outcome is going to be what I want it to be? Now, if you've been in my space for a while, I have been tackling this for a minute. Matter of fact, I also put this under my mindset playlist so you can literally listen to all of it because I learned so much that there are a lot of times that when I talk to an individual where they have an idea they want to put out in the world, but there's so many indecisiveness that comes up that they never move. And maybe it's not even just you, maybe it's your client as well, that they're sitting in this indecisiveness that it just driving them nuts every day. And I think I've said this before, but I was speaking to a lady and I was like, "You on my email list for 3 years. Why haven't you moved? Why haven't you?" I'm like, "You literally watch me grow my whole entire business. You literally watch me have a whole book." Right? This book right here, The Challenge Code. You literally watch me do conferences and so on and so forth. So, what is going on? What is stopping you from moving? Because I want to see the big win for you as well. And that indecisiveness is why people never move forward. Sometimes you're thinking that it's too late for me. The ship has sailed for me, or they're in what I just did a master class a few days ago, and in that master class, we have a master class called How to Craft Your Message, how you can communicate a message to get people to say yes and bye. And I hosted that master class. Matter of fact, I have another one coming up this Thursday, and in that master class, I spoke about the idea behind. I was talking to a lady and she was telling me all the great things that she has going on in her business. Her business is doing phenomenal and she has great products. I mean, products that the world needs. But you know what happened? She kept creating different products, different products, different products because it become easy to her. She was so gifted in her expertise. She can create a product right off the top of her dome. But guess what? Creating products doesn't get you paid. Here's the downfall to that, though. She created all these beautiful products, but nobody in the world ever get to use or witness that products or have transformation from that products because her mindset is stuck on creation mode versus marketing and sales mode. So one of the things I said, okay, so when are we going to get to the marketing and sales part? Because it seemed to me you have a lot of products and you have products that people want right now. But for whatever reason, the indecisiveness had kept her stuck in going over to the other side where she can take those amazing products that she created. The products are ready to help people in the marketplace, but there is something stopping her from really investing in learning how to market herself in the marketplace. There's something stopping her from moving forward, and that's what she has to unpack versus continue. So creating product is just delaying what she needs to be doing, and I see that happen all the time where they were getting creation mode and started saying, hey, I think this will be good in the market. But to avoid doing what they're actually called to do, doing what the Achilles heel that's holding them back from being great, so they avoid that. They don't want to do that. They avoid doing it, and it just become a big challenge for them. I don't know if you can relate to anything that I'm saying, but if you're in this space right now, it's great to have good creation and great ideas of, you can think of something that you can do for a mini course, and you can think of something that you can do for a challenge or masterclass. But even though you do all the work to get it done, the world never experienced it. And therefore, you got to, right then, right there is where the problem lies, between the creation versus executing it and putting out in the marketplace. And one of the reasons why that never happens is because we get into our head and we get into this place of the unknown. Will people really want it? Will people say yes to it? Is this too much? Is somebody else in the marketplace doing it? So you start questioning your ability and questioning about who you are versus whose you are, and the world never see it. I know that you're sitting on a gold mine inside of your phone. And I know that inside of that notes app, there's a whole bunch of things that you have in there. And I also know that in your Google Docs, there's a whole bunch of things that you have in there, but the world never get to see it because you never go into the mode of marketing and putting it out there. The marketing and sales is where the hesitation. Because why is that? Because you're afraid of being cringe. You're afraid of what other people are going to say. You're afraid of what the unknown look like. What is your coworker going to say when they see you online or see you on a video and putting yourself out there? So because of that unknown, you are afraid before it even happened. So you made a decision, like you already know what the outcome is going to be. So you just decided that you're not going to do it. You're like, Sherry, you are snatching edges today. But I just have to be the honest truth bomb person in your life, because I'm learning that a lot of people normalize wrong behavior. So people think that's okay, right? And I don't want to be here to tell you that's okay. I want to make sure that you're making money so you can elevate, you can be in experiences and have places. My girlfriend and I just went out to, we had we made a date. My girlfriends and I, we said, okay, on this date, we're going to head out to this place. So on this date, we said, we're going to head out to Eddie V's. And Eddie V's is one of my restaurants I love to go to. And I was sitting there with my girlfriend and I said, this is normal. Like, this is normal. Like, because I was talking to another girlfriend, a young lady that I know, I was an associate, I know, and she was like, oh, y'all going to dinner? Where you guys are going? And she kind of threw out some names, and I was like, no, we're going to go out to Eddie V's. I haven't been there in a while. And she was like, that's not normal. And I'm like, it's not? She's like, no. She's like, people don't go to Eddie V's unless there's a birthday or a celebration or a special occasion. I was like, oh, so if you don't know, Eddie V's, it's a premier seafood restaurant. It's supposed to be seafood, but it's seafood and steak restaurant. And we had a great time. Nobody's birthday, right? And we were kind of celebrating my own new version of my life of being trusting me and trusting myself. That's what we were there to celebrate. Truth of the matter is, but we didn't need a reason to go. That was the idea behind it. We didn't need a reason to get valet park, and we didn't need a reason to go to this restaurant where they have nice soft music and the steak is high price and all this stuff, all this the elegance and the ambiance and all this great stuff. We didn't need a reason. We wanted to go. We just wanted to go sit and have collaboration and chat and catch up on each other's life. And we could have choose Red Lobster, or we could have choose, anywhere else. But Eddie V's that's what we wanted. We want that experience. And to me, that was normal. But talking to this person that I associate with, she said, no, that's not normal. And that's when it clicked for me that high caliber and high level women, they live a different type of life. And in my head, what I consider normal may not be normal for somebody else. Now, here's my thing. What I said to her, I said, "Well, do you want that for you? Do you want it to be where at Eddie V's normal for you? Like we say, oh, hey, let's go out to eat. Let's just go to Eddie V's, right? Do you want that to be a normal for you? Do you want that space to be normal for you?" And there was a hesitation around when I said, "Do you want that for you too? Do you want that? You're not, if you just make up a restaurant, you're like, hey, I'm just going to go to this restaurant and not think twice of it." And it was kind of the hesitation for what I got from her was more of, yeah, but those places are too expensive, or though she already kind of like count herself out in what I was saying, and which brought me to my point that there was not even a decision there of saying, hey, that can be my life, that can be my normal life. And that's where I came in. That's where I say to myself, well, when did that become normal for me? Like, when did that become the things that I do in life and the places that I go and the things that I've achieved? When did that become the norm for me? Like, let me just go back and say, when did that become normal? Where, and it became normal for me when I learned again how to trust myself, how to create that self trust. See, people want to start with strategy, and people want to start with system, and people want to start with tools. But truth of the matter is, you have to start you in your life and the things that you do. In the things that you do and the things that you tell yourself to do. I'm putting my phone on do not disturb. It, I had to ask myself. So when did going to places like Eddie V's become normal for me? Because when I was talking to the person I associated with, she was saying, "Oh, that's not normal. People don't just say they're going to Eddie V's just to go." And I'm like, "They don't? They don't?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. I didn't know that." So when I asked myself, how did this life or this standard becomes normal for you? And I remember to say to myself, when I begin to trust myself. And trusting yourself start with, yes, I don't know what tomorrow brings. Yes, I don't know when I make the decision how the next move will be. I don't know. Matter of fact, I have a whole group, a whole community just for people who are in that space called the next move. I don't know what's tomorrow is going to bring. I don't know if when I put that post out there, will people say yes to it? I don't know when I launch that offer, will people say yes to it? I don't know. I don't know. The truth of the matter is, we don't know. But here's what we do know. We know that you have the ability to trust yourself and believe in yourself. You have the ability to trust that you are certain about the decision you make, and that decision will be the right decision because you made that decision. And hear me out. Stay with me. And you're going to do everything in your power to carry out that decisions that you make to make it right. Hello. Hello, somebody. So see, it's not just about making a decision. And one of the piece I want you to sit with inside of your soul, many times people make a decision, and I'm going to shame the devil because I've done it. So many times people make a decision and they say they make decision, but the actions that they take show that they're not serious about the decision that they make, or they're indecisive about the decision they make. Let me give an example. If you say that, you know what, I want to launch a masterclass, and when I launch this masterclass, I'm going to help people with XYZ. And when you decide to launch the masterclass, you're like, oh, I need a website. I need to make sure my messaging is magnetic. Oh, I need somewhere for them to opt in or take the money if it's a payment. And then you need some follow up emails. And you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I am ready to do this, because you realize all the formalities that has to get done in order to do it. So now that decision of you doing a masterclass got changed in a moment because you started thinking about formalities versus think about the life that you're going to impact that's going to come on your masterclass. And they're just going to be transformed by the teaching and want to work with you further because they want to be in that space. So instead of thinking in that way, you decide that you're focusing on all the step-by-step process that need to get done. So because of that, you just kind of like, no, I don't want to do it. So see, when you make a decision, you, instead of focusing on is it this is the right decision, I want you to think of it in this way, where it's the right decision because I made it, and because I made it, I'm going to do everything necessary to make sure it's the right decision by carrying out everything that needs to be done, all the formalities, all the due diligence of what that thing is. So when you see somebody that you admire that is launching a product or doing something great, understand that the reason why that person is successful, understand that the reason that person get to where they are, because they made a decision quickly in doing that thing to get the sales and marketing out there into the world. And they also back it up with every step by step process of what they do to make it work. And let's say it doesn't go off as planned, because that's life happens. It normally sometimes don't go as planned. That's part of life. Let's say you launch your product out there. Let's say you launch something out there in the world and it just didn't go as planned. And you're like, man, I thought I was going to have more sales in this. I put all this work into this and it did not show up. I'm not happy. I'm done. I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to tweak. I'm not going to try again, because I am hurt that the thing I decided to do did not give me the microwave fast success that I thought it was supposed to do. And that's where we get in our emotions and get in our feelings, right? Instead of having business acumen and said, hey, I decided to do this. And I know even if someone did not show for this, the marketing that I put behind it, the sales I put behind it, it's only a matter of time for someone to say yes to me, because there's nothing I put out there in the world that was in effort and intention that ever not work out for me. It always work out for my good. Everything works. Everything works. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to apply pressure. I'm going to press gas. I'm going to show up and do it again. I'm going to push my marketing further. If I was doing 2 emails, I'm going to send out 4. If I was doing 2 lives, I'm going to do 4. Yes. And the reason why I'm saying that is not for you pushing yourself or working hard or hustle, is because you know every time you put your intellectual properties out into the world, there's somebody that's been binge watching you and showing, and when you show up, that build trust, which is what people need in order to buy. That builds certainty, not just on your part, but on their part. And you get better. You become you develop a muscles of staying power, a resilience power to keep going, even when it doesn't look like you, even when it looks like you want to stop. That's the muscles that you're exercising, right? To learn how to shift, navigate, and don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your actions, and don't give up because your people are signing you that only you can help. So when you move with that type of thought, it creates a muscle of certainty that when you make a decision, you're not saying, hey, is this the right decision? You're saying the decision is right again because I made it right. I made it right. I have the resilience to stick it out and see what comes with it. And that's what I want to share with you today, because I just saw so many people who's not where they need to be, not because their strategy isn't good, not because you're not smart, and not because, and even in this case with the person I was associated with, it's not because they couldn't afford an Eddie V restaurant. It was more about the box that they decided to put themselves in. And I said to myself, you have to want more for yourself. Nobody's going to give it to you. You have to want. That's when I decided that Calvary is not coming. There's nobody coming to save me. But I also say to myself, I want to be in spaces and environment that breathe the lifestyle that I want to be normal. When I hear my girlfriends talk, when my girlfriends and I we're talking, and we were talking about, hey, so what cleaner do you use? What this person do you use? When we're having that conversation, I thought it was normal until I get around people like, no, that's not how that worked, But how did that start happen for me is just being able to be in spaces that allow this to happen, be in spaces where I said, I want to be in an environment that breathe the lifestyle that I desire. Because then when I write my content, then when I show up, then when I do my launch, I'm launching from her. I'm launching from that woman, from that identity. Sometimes I truly believe that when you are growing your business, you need to sit in spaces that clearly allow you to create that type of conversation, that clearly allow you to have that thing going on. I really think that sometimes because we are not breathing in the life that we desire, it looks like that life is so far away, when truth of the matter is you're just one phone call away from that. You're just one stage away from that. Ooh, mm, 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 mm. That sound good, you know? That sounds so good. You're just one space away from that. So don't count yourself out before somebody counts you out. That's crazy, right? But it's all about self trust. Let's not forget that. Let's not get off subject. It's all about self trust, the ability to trust yourself, to know that whatever path you take is the right path. And whatever path you take, abundance is necessary. It's on the other side. And whatever path you take, stay with me because I just sent this to my email list. Whatever path you take, understand the abundance is not in the decision. The abundance is within you. So you don't have to worry about what if I do this and this doesn't work out, because the abundance is not in your decision. The abundance is within you internally. So the decision is right because you're making it right. Great things is supposed to happen to you. It's not by accident that you're getting news of a new client. It's not by accident but that someone is buying your digital product out of the blue. It's not by accident, because abundance walk within your bloodstream. However, to activate that abundance, sometimes you need to place yourself in rooms. I'm not just talking about conferences. If you may need to go to that car dealership and just sit in that dealership and say, this is what I want. This is how I want to be treated. This is the lifestyle that I desire. Sometimes you just need to go sit in that space. Sometimes you just need to go sit in that lifestyle. Because I have to tell you, it wasn't always like this. I was sleeping on myself for a while, and then life had to kind of knock me upside of the head and say, girl, wake up. Life just had to knock me upside of the head and say, girl, wake up. Wake up. But the key to that is to being the experiences that create that abundance. That's number one. Don't miss the lesson here. And number two, knowing how to, after you come from that environment, how do I market that? How do I create? And marketing means creating that buyer psychology, that creating that magnetic message that speak to more people who want that life too as well. That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. So if you're having challenges with this space, if you're having challenges in learning how to do this, learning how to maneuver this in for your own life, I can tell you, I want you to stop thinking about strategy. I want you to stop thinking about tactics. I want to challenge you to go in environment and go in rooms where that makes you, keyword, uncomfortable, that makes you awkward. I want you to buy that steak that is $200. I want you to do that for yourself. I want you to buy that phone that you think is too expensive, but that phone has a great camera. All right. So I was getting ready to go with my girlfriends, and I went to Target and I saw a purse, and I was like, man, I love this purse. I so love this purse. And when I went to go get the purse is like this small, right? It's not big at all, a tiny purse. And I was in Target and I said, you know what? Should I get this purse? And when I look at the price tag, the purse was $37. So I said, do I want to get this $37 purse after taxes? It's about $40. So is it worth spending $40 for this small, tiny purse or whatever? It's not an everyday wear. So I kept going back and forth with myself. And then I stopped the indecisiveness. Okay, you got to catch yourself. And I said, wait, do I want the purse? Yes, I want the purse. I started asking myself these questions. What is the reason I haven't said yes to the purse yet? And I'm like, oh, because I'm debating if I want to spend $40 for this tiny purse. So beyond money, would I take the purse? And if the answer was yes, I said, oh, I'm sold. I'm going to get the purse. because I'm not allowing survival mentality, limited beliefs to stop me from, because I know everything on this world belongs to me. I know that I know I'm a child, who I'm a child of. So I grabbed the purse, took it up to the register. The $40 purse that I took up to the register was $26.22. Matter of fact, it's in my stories based on when you're seeing this. $26.22. That $40 purse. Now, I was like, when we were at Eddie V's at the restaurant, I was telling my girlfriend, I said, that's what I mean. That's the abundant mindset that I said. Had I, and there was no sales slip, there was no red ticket or anything on the slip. It didn't say $26.22. But when I got to the register, that's when the price changed at the register. So these are just, in my opinion, tests of your mind, building that muscle to truly believe in the certainty that everything works out for your good and everything is yours. Believe in the certainty that if you want something, it's already yours. So had I allow the survival mentality, the limited belief to get in my head, I wouldn't have it. Now, you can say a purse, but you can apply that to anything else in life and business. What is that coaching program that you want to get in, but you are allowing the finance of it to stop you? You won't even have the conversation. You won't even show up and confirm a call. Like, why, we have a tendency to mirror back what we want. So I want to mirror back that this is the life that I want. I want to mirror back when I was learning ads and I hang out with an ads coach. I spent my first $25,000 never in ads before. Didn't know how it was going to work out. Didn't know how. Not like I was in the bank just having it hang out. But guess what? It was the best decision I ever made. Best decision I ever made. So plenty of the times, the next thing that you need to do, no, you won't seem like the finances is there, because truth of the matter is you have to take the first step to show that you are mentally certain that you want it. Not a step from lack, but a step from abundance. That, yeah, hey, listen, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I know one thing is going to turn out good for me because I'm going to do the work to make sure they turn out good. And when you take that step, then God will ordain the universe to get in alignment with what you say you want, and that's it. I did that in just on a regular Saturday, let's go to Eddie V's. I did that in, let me get this purse that I say I wanted, and the purse was discounted. In everything. There's so many other things that I have listed that I want to do, and I know you can too. So step into your elevation. I want you to comment below the word elevation. I want you to step into your elevation because it's already yours. It's just waiting on you to show up. Everything you want is already yours. It's just waiting on you to act accordingly. Oh, Jesus. And if you're looking for a space where this type of conversation continues to happen daily, I want you to join our next move so you can learn how to make the next right move. Why? Because you trust yourself that even if things get off course, you trust yourself to make the next right move. And that's what I got for you today. I want you to comment the word elevation, saying you're going to the next level. I want you to comment the word elevation because you're saying, I am certain about what the next move look like in my life because I am stepping in it and it's right because I'm making it right. All right, that's all I got for you today. It's your girl, Cherry Summer Bell. Make sure you hit the bell, subscribe so I can know when you show up. Talk to you later.